Frank has competed on a high level for many, many years, and he's a biohacker. So he's looking at competing on a high level for many, many more years because he's a biohacker. So Frank, come on up, my friend. Can I say 6-time or should I do 4-time? Four-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, everybody. Frank Forza. Good job. There you go, my friend. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome, brother.
And I'm surprised that it's
wherever you want, wherever.
just park outside.
As long as you don't hit that, you're
literally, I drove in from Utah. I thought maybe 10, 12 Thursday night. Longevity, Dr. Brewer, thank you so much. That's some really good tips. I'm not going to try to top those tips. Those are better tips than I have. Really good stuff with the red algae, the celery juice, coca. You cover a lot of territory, the enzymes.
The air is good.
I've done a lot of research on circulation. My paradigm, a lot of people are talking about, what's the root cause or ground zero for aging. And I'm hearing a lot now from some big names about protein and, grip strength has always been out there. There have always been studies on grip strength. And I would just say, as someone who's lifted a lot of weights and done a lot of pull-ups and run a lot of sprints and done a lot of that stuff, that is not the right tree to bark up. I'm going to say that's my opinion. You are as healthy as your circulation. Ground zero for you living a long time, in my experience, as someone who's been studying it for 34 years now, you're as healthy as your circulation. Cardio is getting a bad rap. I think people want to sell protein powder or something, or they want to, it's great, TRT, whatever. Everybody wants big muscles. I want big muscles. I'm skinny. I'm not the biggest thing. Since I've been small, everybody would think they could beat me up, and I've always looked how I've looked. So I would say that you're as healthy as your circulation. If you take your blood vessels, your microcirculation, your arteries, you can go on Google right now and you say, how far is that going to stretch? If you can take every little piece of you, wrap around the world, there's a reason for that. That's the blood supplier. That's the nutrient supplier. When that goes, it's endgame. It's not even mitochondria. It's the blood flow first. Mitochondria is a big deal. It's your blood flow. You're as healthy as your blood flow. How do I know? Why do I care? Because when I was 19, I had the ignominious distinction of being the youngest known person in the United States to have a bypass surgery of any part on on any body part. The second youngest known at the conventions, at the cardiology and the cardiovascular surgeon conventions, was 32. I was 19. I went to the University of Maryland to wrestle Division I. I was a very good wrestler. I was hard-nosed. I was ready to be the hardest worker in any room. And my legs started to shrink. Could have lost my leg. I had the intermittent claudication. I couldn't walk 2 blocks. It got worse. I could lose the leg. I got a 27-inch scar down that leg that broke my heart. That was a key part of my identity. It was devastating to me. And I went there in Baltimore, Maryland, Johns Hopkins. We have some of the best doctors. We're lucky there. Baltimore has a lot of problems, violent problems, among other things, but we have some great hospitals for some reason. We have a lot of rich schools and things like that too, which is weird to see. Really poor and really rich. It's weird to see that. So I went to Dr. William Bell, who was supposedly the preeminent hematologist in the world. He tested my blood and he said, I got nothing for you. I don't know. It's a mystery. So I would live my life with this great unknown hanging over me, which is my leg ain't normal. I never had the blood flow there. What do I accept? It took me 5 years, almost 5 years to do this. Took me almost 5 years. I'm stubborn in the right ways too. I'm stubborn in the bad ways. I'm stubborn in the right ways. I never accepted that my leg would want to do that. I would go to contract it. I used to take a belt, make that thing. I used to sit there. It didn't want to bend forever. It didn't want to bend again. I used to sit there and make and push that thing for months and months. You're going to bend again. You're going to be straight again. I'm going to make you work again. It's never been a normal leg, but I've spent the last 34 years going down every rabbit hole I could. No stone unturned. That's a big thing. If you want to live a long time, no stone unturned. Keep an open mind. And I said, what is the root? What is the etymology? Like, if there's a plaque What forms a plaque? What is a plaque? How does a plaque form? Most likely thing to take everybody out. Still right now, cancer's coming on. Cancer will probably pass heart disease at some point with the rate they're going with all the chemicals. With the 86,662, last I looked, chemicals that are registered with the government. Some of them are proprietary. They don't even have to tell you what's in it, but it's registered. They don't even have to tell you all the ingredients in it. But anyway, the rate that's going, cancer will pass it. But right now, your most likely cause of death is going to be heart attack and stroke. And those are blood, those are circulation. When the blood flow stops, memory goes, muscles go, a lot of things go, grip power goes, people fall, all kinds of things happen. It's blood flow. That's ground zero until somebody shows me something. Otherwise, I operate on that assumption. I operate on, and I love what he said about red algae. I love what he said about, can you reverse? We're seeing it now. We're in an exciting time where they're able to take people, whether it was Caldwell Esselstyn, Dean Ornish, others, they're able to take people that were like, this person's a ticking time bomb, this person's going to have a heart attack, and they're able to take them, and they're basically heart attack proof. And there's more and more and more, and it's proven, right? Dean Ornish was the doctor for Clinton and for presidents, and he's got it on the record. There's different ways to do it. I used to think, oh, you got to be a vegan. No, you don't. No, you don't. I talked to Caldwell Esselstyn himself. Love him. T. Colin Campbell. Love him. You don't. I did the vegan vegetarian thing. You don't have to be vegan vegetarian, especially as an athlete. You don't have to eat meat every day like Americans do, like 10 ounces of meat every day according to USDA. I think that's a bad idea. I don't think anthropologically, ancestrally, we did that. You show me the people that were that premier of hunters that you could eat meat every single day whenever you wanted to. I love carnivore. It's the best B vitamins. If you can get high quality meat, phenomenal for you. If you're doing it every day, you could still be healthy if your cortisol's low, if you've been a clean eater, right? The biggest killer, it's true. I used to work like as an exercise. Well, I exercised like I'm still a workhorse, like exercise. And I'm not trying to brag, but like if you were to follow me for a week, like come do what I do physically with no steroids, it's in the top one. I know it's in the top 1% because I've lived in that land of the 1%ers, working at UFC for 6 years, training with the fighters, training with world champions, training with Olympians. I know what that work looks like. Training with special forces. I know what that work looks like. If you follow me, now I don't eat meat every day. I don't go around eating meat. How am I able to do that? My recovery is phenomenal. But you can tell by the way my leg performs, I'm like, it's not the meat. How can I tell? Because if it was the meat, whenever I eat meat, I should have lost my leg by now. So I'm like, it's not the meat. A lot of what you're looking at, I spent a lot of time overseas now in Europe. I've been to Finland. When I went to Finland in 2017, I was like, I'm anti-dairy. Dairy's terrible. I'm going to villainize and demonize dairy. Dairy's horrible. Dairy's part of the problem. Dairy's going to make me lose my leg and blah, blah, blah. I went to Finland in 2017. I said, Frank, the Finnish are the people, the known people eating dairy the longest, consuming dairy the longest. It's them, like ancestry, 3,000 some year track record of milk, cheese, dairy. And they got tons of healthy people. They don't have all the same amount of heart disease. I'm like, all right, you're in Finland. It's an A2 dairy, so it's molecularly different. It's going to be a higher quality. You owe it to yourself. Consume dairy when you're in Finland. I want you to try the brie cheeses. When you get off the airplane, by the way, every airport's different. You got salmon, like fresh, not farm raised, fresh salmon at the airport. Incredible brie cheeses, incredible milks, A2 milks. I was there was no stomach, nothing, and that's when I realized the light bulb went off. Thank God I kept an open mind. I said, you know what? It's the quality. It's a quest for quality. When we're arguing over meat, we're arguing over this is bad. It's the quality. It's the soil. It's go to the soil, how it was produced. It's not. Dairy's not bad for you if you get a high quality dairy. Cheese is not bad for you. Maybe ancestrally you're the rare person who can't handle it. There's no way that we would ever have the lactose intolerance, the levels of it here, if everybody was on an A2 dairy or real milk. You'd have it, it would be fractional. It would be a fraction. Okay. So getting to, I think, in my opinion, from what I've seen, I was a journalist for 13 years. You say, this guy's just got a microphone, he's making up whatever. Well, part of my training is 25,000 plus people interviewing them. I interviewed them. I'm basically, think of me as like, I'm like the athlete guy who's an FBI profiler, like real life, going into the prisons. I'm interviewing everybody, getting the doctors, taking the governor, taking the Homeland Security director, cops in courts. This guy's accused of the murder, says he didn't do it. This woman had her kid die in Iraq. He's dead. I got to go knock on the door. This guy's sister died in a tsunami in Sri Lanka. I'm on the door. They don't want me at the door. You do that thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and you learn to look through the medical studies, the PubMed, and you can you learn to find all the holes when they say, this is the holy grail of studies, and this is this. You learn to punch a lot of holes in what a lot of people say is, well, that's science, it's settled, it's been done. No, I'm not a doctor, but I can punch holes in what the scientists and the doctors do and tell me, and I believe in living proof too. We need the scientists, we need the doctors, we need great medical devices, we need technological advances, but we need people in the trenches who are going to be living proof of it, who are usually going to be even ahead of it. Roger Bannister didn't wait for the science. The science said, you're going to die of a heart attack, bud. Your heart's going to explode. You keep messing with that 4-minute thing. You know what that crazy guy did? It wasn't scientific. You know what Roger Bannister did? He went on a track 5 days a week and ran as hard as he could. There wasn't even like light day, heavy day, what you would do now, right? Periodization. You wouldn't do it like that. That wacko, who wound up being a doctor, by the way, just said, I'm going to go on this track and I'm going to keep running until I break that 4-minute mile. And then when he broke it, within 2 months, somebody else broke it. Now we got high school kids that break the dang thing, right? So I don't wait. No offense to the scientists. I don't wait for them. You wait for them, you'll be 20 years behind. Some of us have to be bold and say, this just kind of makes sense to me. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to figure this out. Big thing for your circulation. You're as healthy as your circulation. It's your hydration. Hydration is calculus. People underestimate hydration. I put hydration in my protocol above nutrition, and nutrition is huge. Hydration is bigger. It is the key to your blood flow. And as you were saying with, bioavailability and nutrient absorption, you're not what you eat, you're what you absorb. And along those lines, the same thing, hydration. If you're not taking a real salt, as much as you can, when you're drinking, there's intracellular water, there's extracellular water. You want water in the cell. You need a salt. Salt has been demonized, villainized, like so many other things. It is an absolute, from my perspective, I'm not speaking as a scientist, I'm speaking as an athlete who relies on electrolysis, who wants maximum energy, not just from B vitamins. You are an electrical unit. You will go as far as that electrical unit. The more you strain that electrical unit, the more you will strain your immune system, the more you will hurt your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles, the longer your recovery will take, the more you will be at risk of of the stroke. Because the hydration is good. When you get that clumping, it's not just the junk you're eating. It's that the water and the hydration is not there to flush it and to detoxify you and to clear, because your body's still smart. Even when you put the junk in your body's still smart to say, I'm going to get that out of there. But it needs a detox method. It needs a transportation, right? Are you giving it the transportation to evict what it knows? It's smart. But if you don't have the transportation, the hydration there, it's not going to kick it out, okay? You're not going to ever perform at the same. So I'm going to be simple with hydration. I could give a master class on hydration. That one took a long time. I would just say I was in France. I spent a lot of time in France. They have tons of real salts. Sadly, in the United States, where we call this the best country, the richest country, we're the greatest this, I don't know that many real salts in this country. I know of Celtic salt, which is French. We all think it's Irish or it's Wales or it's UK. It's not, it's French. There's the Celtic salt, which they sell here. There's the real salt Redmond from Utah, which is a great salt. There's Himalayan salt, which is probably good, but I don't even know how much of that's real. You go to France, they're pulling it from the sea. It's real salt. And I'm not saying that you need to load up on all kinds, we're all different. I'm not saying Me as an athlete, and I'm not saying you should do this because you can get nauseous, especially if you're fasting. You gotta be careful with salt. Because salt, just like trace minerals, you get nauseous. So you gotta know what you're doing. But with the salt, when I take it, salt has a lot of the trace minerals too. The problem is you'll get nauseous. I'm usually taking before a competition. Day of a competition, I'm salt loading. I don't salt load year round. I'll take two tablespoons of salt that day within like 2 hours. It's a lot. You don't do that. I'm giving you a window, like there's a lot of energy and power in that. Normal day, spread out through the day, I'll do 2 to 3 workouts. There'll probably be a teaspoon and a half spread out. Now, guy like me, especially with the blood clotting and the mysterious, I should be dead. I get in the sun. I don't do what I do. I don't use sunscreen. I can go hours and it does nothing. I'm in France in the Mediterranean in the sun. So I don't believe you have to go out there yourself and see your own body, what you're used to. The sun does not, I'm 53. I'm not saying that I'm 53. I don't use sunscreen. I haven't worn sunscreen 10 times in my life, and I spend an insane amount of time. I live in Las Vegas. I play in the Mediterranean Sea. I play in the hot sun. I lay in the hot sun. We're all different, especially if you're dark skinned and you come from that bloodline or you work your way up. The reason a lot of people burn in the sun is partly because of your nutrition. If you're eating all these seed oils and all this junk, you're going to burn. If you're not hydrated, you're out there, you're going to burn. If you're scared of the sun forever, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you do go to the sun for 20 minutes, your body's like, I've never seen you in the sun before. I'm going to burn you. Right? I'm always in the sun. So the skin is like a muscle. It will work. It will build up. So this was before the podcasters. I grew up landscaping. So I was already like myth busting, like, okay, I don't have all the wrinkles. I don't have all that. You can say, well, it's genetic, but it's not just me. There's other people, right? So I'm going to try to wind down here. I can go and go and go. The things that I would say, one thing about centenarian. So who in this room wants to be a centenarian? Who really genuinely wants to live to be 100? That's really good. Now, let me tell you something, because I go around asking my friends and asking people and asking clients, and I'll say, man, how long do you want to live? How long do you want to live? Let me tell you, start to ask your friends, start to ask a bunch of people, not just the optimists you know, just in your circle. You got 50, 100 people. Start to ask them that. How long do you want to live? It's going to be depressing. You got so many people stumped, they'll be like, like, even I got relatives, they're like, very few people I know really want to make it past 80. And God bless you, Robert. You're going strong now. You're healing. God bless you. You look great. Got a great look, a great head of hair. And but a lot of people, they're already, the biggest thing I think with longevity, the starting point, even though I say you're as healthy as circulation, the starting point is where your mindset. Your mindset's the first mover. The biggest problem most people face in living a long time is they don't really want to live a long time. They're reading the negative headlines and they're like, the world sucks. It's going to hell in a handbasket. It's going to be a world war. It's going to be a civil war. People are divided. I want to get the hell out of here. 75 will be about right. That's really how most people think. I'm going to be on Frank, I'm going to have a bathroom full of 20 meds, and come on, man, that's not living. That's the perspective, and that mental defeatism is what holds most people back. It weighs down the average. 70 doesn't have to suck. 1 second, 70 doesn't have to suck. 60, you have to start with the premise that 50 is not going to suck. It's going to be the best years of your life. 60 is going to be even better. 70, you have to literally embrace that and be enthusiastic and be optimistic about that. You have to be an eternal optimist. If not, why would you want to do all the things? It's like, Frank, it's too extreme and too expensive to do all the things you're telling me to do. And I get that from clients, I get that from family members. But I'm like, because if you got a weak motive, it's extreme, right? It's extreme when you got a weak motive. But if you got a strong motive, which is, I have a curious mind. I want to be there to see X, Y, and Z. Most of the fears you have about how bad the world's going to be, the world's had bad and evil people for how many thousands of years, and it keeps going. And you always will still meet. I've traveled enough. I'm like, man, all this evil in the world, and there's still beautiful places and amazing places, nice people and hospitable people, and people like John connected. So I'm like, there's still, we're never going to run out of beautiful places in this world. We're never going to run out of good people. If you read the headlines and you get scared and you fall in line, yeah, you'll believe it. It's never happened. And there's been evil worse than what we think. There's been regimes that are worse than what we think. Oh, this is such an evil regime. Look at how evil. No, go read your history books. There were more evil regimes than what we've seen. And people, the human spirit keeps going and going and going and going. So train yourself to be an eternal optimist. Then you say, I want to stick around. I want to see whatever. I want to learn more languages. So I don't stop at 53, and it's not just me. I don't think I'm an outlier. I think I'm an outlier in that I think different, I dare different, I bold different. I'm stubborn as can be in good and bad ways. I'm really stubborn, and I have to touch the hot stove myself. The scientists can't just tell me, no, we're going to have to test that theory. I'm not going to just take, well, we settled it and we got it under control and now fall in line. There's a thing called informed consent that I believe in, and so I don't take everything that some authority figure tells me is gospel. I've met amazing doctors. I've met people doing amazing work. I've met amazing alternative people. But I like to be the living proof of it. Like, I want to go out there and I want to do it. And I don't care if a scientist tells me, you're taking too much salt. You're taking too much sun. You're doing too much this. That meat is going to kill you too. You should only do vegan, vegetarian. Vegan, vegetarian was amazing for recovery, by the way. But it don't have the B vitamins. And then you're going to take the nutritional yeast. Most of that is synthetic B vitamins. You're going to get pennies on the dollar your B vitamin. That's the weakness of vegan vegetarian, especially like the B vitamin. And you're just not going to have the same protein profile, even though I still love a lot of that. You'll recover. If you're injured, you do a lot of fasting, you do vegan vegetarian, it can be great if you have an injury. It can be great. You can heal quicker. But for me, in a sport where most of the athletes are on steroids, now TRT, the Jiu-Jitsu World Championships, it's the TRT games now. Everybody's on TRT. I'm like an anomaly. And that's why I would say mindset's the first mover. Mindset's the most important thing. Being a natural athlete means I have to be on it. I have to be on it with the hydrate. I need to check boxes because they got the steroid box. They got the TRT box. I need to check. My nutrition needs to be better. My hydration, my recovery, my everything. I need to check these other boxes. That's how I beat them. My mind needs to be smarter than theirs. My technique needs to be better. My confidence needs to be better, right? I know that seems extreme, but that's how a guy like me. Now, final thing, centenarians. We got 101,000 in 2024 in the U.S. Crazy thing about U.S. is per capita, it's Japan producing the most centenarians. 80 point something out of every 100,000 Japanese, so it's like a decimal, are centenarians. Per capita, Japan has the most. In number, numerically, it's actually the United States, which is ironic, given that we have so many out-of-shape people, and we toxify everything, and we just destroy the soil. America leads the world in centenarians. And in the next 30 years, we will quadruple the number of centenarians here in the United States. If more people wake up, we might even 4, 5-fold, 6-fold, 7-fold that, because people are waking up at an alarming rate. And I would say again, mindset's the first mover. Rethink, reimagine, inspire your friends. You get healthy, inspire them so that they can start realizing 60 does not suck, 70 don't suck. I'm not trading places with a sick billionaire, a chronically sick billionaire. He can keep it, he can have it. I feel wealthy every day that I walk around, that I'm healthy and I'm able to do what I love. That is a form of wealth, and that's something that we need people to understand in America too, is that health really is wealth. If you're healthy, if you're able to do what you love, you're as wealthy as some dude with a huge, massive bank account. That's how I think, okay? God bless everybody. Thank you so much. You had a question?
Reverse programming. I believe in reverse programming. So basically, as we grew up, we're programmed to kind of fall in line, right, with how society is, the diet, the pyramid schemes, how to eat, right? So people are from when they're children.
Pyramid's upside down.
Pyramid's upside down, right? So when they're looking at colors, right, you've seen how they send. They make the good stuff here, but send it to Canada. which doesn't make any sense. You know? Very bright, very vibrant food we eat here, which it doesn't really look appealing to you, right? But they go attack the kids, so then now when they're growing up, that's where it starts. You know, they start attacking the kids, so then now they fall in line. Once they fall in line 10 years later, this is what I was taught. You ever talk to someone with trauma? Oh, this is just all I know. Right? So they reverse the trauma, not just getting beaten, shot at, living in the ghetto, living somewhere that's dangerous. It's in your house. You know, like the colorful things you bring home. Oh, I didn't have this as a kid. You have this. So then now, 20 years now, we're getting further. Oh, this is all I know. So it's just a continuous circle. But what you're preaching was your outlier is thinking outside of that. Like, this is not it. This can't be the only food. Like, why is everybody else living longer? Why does he look better than me?
When you go in France, to your point, whenever anybody here, if you do go to France, when you go in the grocery aisles, I want you to take pictures of the produce aisle. It looks like a cartoon. You would literally be like, there's no way that this could be this red, this could be.
The colors,
It explodes with color. And again, that's indicative of the soil where they don't tolerate the same amount of nonsense that we've tolerated over here, where they've literally eviscerated. The only reason you have to buy a trace mineral now is because they took it out of the soil. So only America would be like, how about we take the trace minerals essential out of the soil and sell them back to you for $30 as a trace mineral that you have to have now. Only America would do this. It's like a model. It's like, let's take it out of the soil. And now, literally, that's what's happened. So they're taking so much out of the food that now we all do have to supplement. You're like, oh, I got to go buy that. Used to be in the soil. It's in France's soil. It's a cartoon. When you go in those grocery aisles, you're like, this is it jumps at you where you will want to take pictures. You'll be like, am I allowed to take pictures? You'll be like, ching, 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 ching. It's mind-blowingly colorful.
And they just switched it with junk food here. So if you notice, all the junk food's at kid level height.
Yeah.
Right? It's all at like 3 to 4 feet. So these kids are running up. Oh, grab this box.
Mommy, I gotta have this. I gotta have that.
And you're like, oh, wow. And then all the organic stuff, you look at all that stuff, it's all the way up to the top. Right? So then they can't even see that problem. Right? So it's like you see, yeah, exactly. And they go straight for the kids.
Shelf height is important, right? It makes it more money to put that shelf space, right?
They'll grab a couple of boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's going to shut up and put it in the box.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I agree with you. Thank you.
I love it, man. Thank you, brother.